Good morning, students. My name is Uttam Koth. Welcome back. In last lecture, we have seen some basic concept about polymer, monomer, polymerization. After that, we have seen about plastic and their types. And next, we have seen about the one of the example for resin, that is bakelite phenol formaldehyde resin. For today's lecture, we are going to see about second industrially important resin, that is urea formaldehyde resin, that also called as amino resins. These urea formaldehyde resin are obtained by reaction of urea with formaldehyde. This urea formaldehyde resin, which is prepared by reaction between 1 part of urea and 2 parts of formaldehyde in basic medium in stainless steel vessel at about 50 degree Celsius. In the first initial stage for the synthesis of urea formaldehyde resin, primary products are formed as monomethylol urea and dimethylol urea. Means that in case of during the condensation of urea and formaldehyde in alkaline medium, okay, first of all we will get the monomethyl urea, and this product is on condensation with the another mole of the formaldehyde, formation of dimethylol urea. These are the primary products required for formation of urea formaldehyde resin. Is a thermosetting polymer. After that, for molding, methylol derivatives like this, methylol derivatives are compounded with some kind of fillers, plasticizers and catalyst, and then cured nothing but the applying the heat and pressure. During curing, 2 moles of water is get obtained as a byproduct. Okay, after that we will get the one product here which having chain like nitrogen, carbon, nitrogen, carbon, next one we can say here carbon, means that we can get the long chain like carbon, nitrogen, carbon, nitrogen continuous. After that, this product is on poly condensation in basic medium, formation of this highly cross-linked structure, nothing but the urea formaldehyde resin. This N indicates degree of polymerization, nothing but the number of repeating units present in the chain of polymer. This is the urea formaldehyde resin formed by polycondensation of urea and formaldehyde. This urea formaldehyde resin having some properties like these resins are bright white in color. These are hard and lightweight. This urea formaldehyde resin it has good tensile strength. They are having, or we can say they possess good electrical insulating property, or we can say character. It is resistant to various chemicals. It is having great hardness, great light stability and good abrasion resistance. Also they are resistant towards the water, also with the heat and flame. These are the some properties of urea formaldehyde resin. About the applications, or we can see uses of these resin in the day-to-day life or in the case of industry, like they are used as a electrical insulator, because we can say here they are having property of electrical insulator. Okay, it is used as a cation exchanger resin in the softening process of water, because they can exchange the cations from the water with the cation in the resin itself as a H plus. It is also used to make some decorative articles like plates, dishes, glasses, chairs, etc. The most important use of the resin is to bind the grinding wheels, because they are acts as a binder. Because of that there is a use of this resin in the bind the grinding wheels. Okay, it is also used for binding glass fibers, wool, etc. Okay, it is also used for bonding clouds. These are the some uses of urea formaldehyde resin. Means that in conclude we can say here urea formaldehyde resins are prepared by polycondensation of urea and formaldehyde in alkaline medium, formation of some primary derivatives. The primary derivatives on polycondensation, formation of urea formaldehyde resin, that can be used for industrial, also for some domestic purposes. After that we have to see next one, that is epoxy resin, number third. Epoxy resins are mainly formed by condensation reaction between two monomers, the most two important monomers, that is number one is the epichlorohydrin and number two is the bisphenol, or we can say bisphenol A. Okay, these are two monomers required for the synthesis of epoxy resin. Means that this synthesis having actually three steps: synthesis of epichlorohydrin one step, synthesis of bisphenol is second step, and after that by the condensation between these two monomers in alkaline medium, formation of epoxy resin. First of all, in case of the first step, synthesis for epichlorohydrin, this epichlorohydrin is get prepared by the reaction between propene with the chlorine at higher temperature, formation of epichlorohydrin. Is the actually epoxide ring is there in the epichlorine, okay, formed by reaction between propene and chlorine at high temperature. Then second step is the synthesis of bisphenol. It is get synthesized, or we can say prepared by condensing phenol with acetone in presence of NaOH at 50 degrees Celsius, formation of bisphenol. Means that 2 moles of phenol, okay, and 1 mole of acetone is required to prepare the bisphenol. Acetone molecule is get sandwiched between 2 moles of phenol, formation of bisphenol. After that, third step here, bisphenol and epichlorohydrin are get condensed at alkaline medium, formation of this epoxy resin, formation of here ether linkage, formation of carbon bond O bond C, nothing but the ether linkage is get formed in the epoxy resin. This also N indicates here is the number of repeating units in the chain of polymer. Epoxy chlorine having some good properties. Here number one, due to presence of, as I said, stable ether linkages, it has good chemicals and electrical resistance, excellent adhesive properties, adhesion in the finished products. This epoxy resin possesses flame resistance. They are having good mechanical properties including toughness, flexibility, etc. Also, epoxy resin when treated with amine gives cross-linked strong rigid structure. These are some properties of, we can say, epoxy resin. On the basis of these properties, the epoxy resins can be used in different uses, as they are used as a adhesive for joining surfaces such as glass, wood, metals, etc. Means that they, because of the adhesive property, as I said, they can be used for joining surfaces like glass, wood, metals. Also, they are used in the industrial flooring, skid resistance, highway surfacing and packaging materials. It can be used to bind cardboards, boards, glass for laminating purposes. Also means that this epoxy resin can be used for laminating purposes for the glass. They are used to bind number of substances including metals and glasses. Molds made from the epoxy resins are employed for the production of components which are required for aircrafts and aeroplanes. After that, we have to see next part of the topic is the biodegradable polymers, or we can say biodegradable plastics. How we can define that biodegradable polymers or plastic here? So we are discussing about biodegradable polymers. So how we can define that one? Biodegradable polymers are the degradable plastics in which degradation results from the action of naturally occurring microorganisms such as bacteria, algae, fungi. We know that about the composting. Composting is the managed process that controls the biological decomposition of biodegradable materials into humus-like substance called compost and transform into biologically decomposable materials. In case of that environmental hazardous synthetic polymers waste, certain biodegradable polymers such as polyhydroxy betaoxyvalerate and nylon 2 nylon 6 are developed as alternatives for the, we can say, biopolymers, and these polymers contain functional groups similar to functional groups present in the biopolymers. Because of that, these synthetic polymers PHBV and nylon 2 and nylon 6 can be degrade biologically by means of action of microorganisms such as bacteria, algae, fungi. Biodegradable polymers are classified into two categories. Number one, naturally biodegradable polymers, and number two is the synthetic biodegradable polymers. Here, first of all, in case of naturally biodegradable polymers, the natural biodegradable polymers are produced in nature by all living organisms. Examples for this category. Polysaccharides such as starch is the most naturally biodegradable polymers found in nature. Second example, we can say aliphatic polyester polyhydroxyalkanoates is the second example. We can say is also family of easily biodegradable polymers found in nature. In these polymers, the biodegradation reaction are typically enzyme catalyzed, occur in aqueous medium, means that naturally biodegradable polymers are get degrade by enzyme catalyzed occurs in aqueous media, and these polymers are having hydroxylizable linkages such as protein, cellulose and starch are generally goes to biodegradation by enzyme catalyzed. Second type, that is synthetic biodegradable polymers. As I said, in the case of the natural biodegradable polymers, they are produced by living organisms occurred in the nature, but synthetic biodegradable polymers are produced by mankind. Okay, examples for the synthetic biodegradable polymers, nothing but the PHBV, and second one is the nylon 2 nylon 6. Other widely available synthetic types includes aliphatic aromatic copolyesters are the examples of the synthetic biodegradable polymers, nothing but the alternative for the natural biodegradable polymers. And the biodegradation reaction for the synthetic polymers is same as that of natural polymers. These are enzyme catalyzed to proceed in aqueous medium also. Aliphatic polyesters are one of the important classes of biodegradable polymers. Some important examples are the given here. Number one, poly beta hydroxybutyrate, beta hydroxyvalerate, nothing but the PHBV. It is obtained by copolymerization of 3-hydroxybutanoic acid and 3-hydroxypentanoic acid, formation of PHBV here, polyhydroxybutyrate. Beta hydroxyvalerate is the synthetic biodegradable polymers, is used in specialty packaging, orthopedic devices and controlled releases of drugs. PHBV undergoes bacterial degradation in environment. We have to see some applications of these biodegradable polymers. Commercially available natural biodegradable polymers such as starch-based polymers include modified starch blends, polyhydroxyalkanoates PHA, synthetic biodegradable polymers such as aliphatic aromatic copolyesters find applications in the number of fields. In number one, food packaging. Number two, single serve cups and other disposable food service items. Foam for industrial packaging, film wrapping, laminated paper and agricultural film products, slow release devices and hygiene products, electrical and electronics appliances, consumer durables, These biodegradable polymers are used for agricultural purpose, for soil stabilization, also can be get used for in medical field as a bone plates and surgical scissors, also used for adhesives, paints and as a coating, also used for the some automobile parts. Means that in number of uses the biodegradable polymers are get used commercially.